As a youngster, Dave Visner grew up around his dad's auto repair shop and quickly learned that engine work would be his life. And in fact, Visner was so sure of this that he opened up his own engine shop at the ripe age of 20. In those days, he performed stock valve jobs, ported cylinder heads, and rebuilt engines. Before long, he sold that engine shop and went to work for NASCAR teams for a number of years. He then left stock cars behind to open his own shop once again. This time, Visner opened Visner Engine Development, located in Kentwood, Michigan in 2005. Today, Visner Engine Development has 11 employees who help the CNC machine shop pump out a number of products, such as the throttle bodies, billet intake manifolds, billet cylinder heads, billet blocks, and billet valve covers. In fact, Visner Engine Development has the capability to design and machine everything from billet oil pans all the way to the throttle body. The shop even manufactures its own seats and guides. Those capabilities come in handy for projects such as Visner's 600 bore space small block Chevy engine package for drag radial, outlaw 10.5, no prep, pro boost, and grudge racing applications. We'll tell you all about this build in this episode of Engine of the Week.
Engine Builder's Engine of the Week is sponsored by Pengrade. Precision, performance, Pengrade. Always the original green oil. Elring DOS Original. Leading technology, leading service. And Scat Crankshafts. Everything for your LS engine.
Hey everyone, I'm Crystal Smith with Engine Builder, and today we're talking about Visner Engine Development's 600 bore spacing small block Chevy engine package. Dave saw some shortcomings with small block Chevys and that there was a big market for big cubic inch small blocks. So he developed the 600 bore spacing engine package as a very viable racing setup. And here's Dave to tell you more.
In the big block world, obviously, we got 5-inch bore space, we got 5.3 bore space. In the small block world, there's certainly we saw a need for big small blocks. 4.6 bore space, we can increase bore size, increase valve size, and still fall within the small block criteria. So that was the biggest thing, is building an engine that can handle big power for like drag radial, outlaw 10.5, that sort of racing, which is extremely popular.
With some small block engines making close to 4,000 horsepower, Visner wanted to build an engine that could handle that power and still be considered a small block.
So to build block, we offer it wet or dry. Head studs, and main studs are H13. Billet oil pan package comes with it. The billet cylinder head is a wedge design. It's available in a few different configurations depending on the type of racing, whether it's nitrous or NA or big boost. There's a couple different chamber configurations available for it. We make the rocker gear in-house for it. Billet manifolds. We have tunnel ram versions and front or rear entry versions for boosted applications. Obviously, we installed the keyed lifter bushings and all that stuff.
When it comes to additional internal engine components, most of Visner's customers make their own selections.
Because we don't actually build the engine. We're providing the engine package to engine builders. As far as those internal components, as far as the actual finish grind on the camshaft and rods and pistons and ring configuration, that's kind of up to the end user.
If customers ask for component suggestions, Visner is happy to make recommendations, but he's learned that it's better to not be his customer's competition. The most unique thing about Visner's 600 bore space small block Chevy is the way the shop builds the main assembly.
There's some debate as to what's better, a cross-bolted main or a splayed main cap, and we kind of, in this design, utilize both. So I think that would be the most unique thing about it. Other than that, it's really a bigger version of our symmetric port small block Chevy head, right?
Most of the guys building off this engine package are anywhere from 460 cubic inches to 560 cubic inches in size. The power for this engine is really prevalent on boost. And according to Visner, everybody who has bought the engine package so far has been using it in their power adder application. Based off that, the engine package is capable of 2,200 to 3,800 horsepower. However, Visner stresses that it doesn't mean you can't build the engine as a naturally aspirated motor and make a big small block that makes 1,250 horsepower. Any way you slice it, Visner's 600 bore space small block Chevy has you covered. And that does it for this episode of Engine of the Week. Thanks to our sponsors, Pengrade, Scat, Crankshafts, and Elring. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have an engine you'd like to see featured, please email our editor, Greg Jones, at gjones@babcocks.com. Thanks for watching.